In Afghanistan, the numbers of dogs deployed in theatre are at their highest since World War II, and the numbers growing. In a moment, we'll be hearing from one of the Army's most successful arms explosive search dog teams. But first, let's hear from members of 101 Squadron, the 1st Military Working Dog Regiment, who've come to the end of their tour. Last week, they handed over to 105 Squadron and said goodbye to many of the dogs they've been working with. Carla Prater spoke to some of the handlers and trainers about their tour.
For the past 6 months, 101 Squadron have been patrolling and protecting bases across Helmand. At the main entry point at Camp Bastion, search dogs check every vehicle coming into camp. More than 200 pass through the gates every day. Last week, they discovered ammunition in one of the convoys, but the dogs are a big deterrent and fines are rare.
One dog can do the work of 10 men in basically a third of the time, so you know they are very effective. I think it is working. I think we're seen now by the people outside as a deterrent, and they tend to not even try to get in there because they know that we're here.
Herrick 16 has seen the largest deployment of dogs to theatre since the Second World War. More than 100 have been sent out on the ground to support troops and hunt for IEDs. On Herrick 17, that number is set to rise even further.
They've become more and more effective, and the more effective they are, the more recognised they are, the more people want them. Wherever you go now in Afghanistan, you're pretty much going to come across a military working dog that's living alongside you, and the complications that come with that as well in some of the more remote places, and just living with the guys and their dogs is a bit of a challenge for them. But they've done really well. I'm quite proud of them.
Over the last few weeks, handlers from 105 Squadron have been arriving in theatre, bringing their dogs with them. At night, they're flown in from Germany, lined up on the C-17, protection dogs in one section, search dogs in another. Everyone's put to work to move them to their kennels quickly. The squadrons may be changing over, but not all of the dogs that have been out on the ground will be going home. If a dog is working well, if it's acclimatized and healthy, it can end up doing 2 or 3 tours in a row. Around 60% will stay out here, but it's up to the vets to assess each and every one. The dogs are checked over and constantly assessed to see how they're performing. Some work better in the winter months, others have adapted to the climate and stay longer.
These dogs just love doing search work because it's a game to them, and they enjoy everything they do. So taking them back and bringing them back to the UK to train, it's no different. They're just happy to be out here in the first place. They get used to the heat just as we did, and yes, they suffer in the heat just as we do. Difference is they can just jump in the pools more freely than we can. Yeah.
Jerry is one of the search dogs staying behind. Out on the ground, he's a dog in demand, the one everyone wants on their patrol, holding the record for the most number of fines during the last 6 months. But he's not the only dog to have had a successful tour. Lance Corporal Darren Woolley and his dog Hoss had a number of fines, including a weapons store in the Upper Garesh Valley. While Lance Corporal Jody Lewis and Max have been busy attached to the Grenadier Guards Recce platoon.
They're normally the first ones in there. We've had quite a few fines, a few knocking avoids as well. So luckily no one's been hit, just because we got the dog.
He's free in December and he's crazy. He doesn't stop, he loves it, he lives for this is what he wants. I love him to bits. Obviously we're out there saving lives, stopping the IDs going off. And I just like that. I like the fact that we're doing that and helping the guys stay alive, and you know, it's just part of the job and it's hard work, but when you're sitting back, you just want to get back out.
Handlers and dogs are paired up according to their strengths and personalities, and it's a bond that lives on well after the tour is ended. 101 Squadron's handlers may be going home, but many of their dogs are going back out, using their sense of smell to save lives and support a new set of soldiers on the ground. Carla Prater, Forces News, Camp Bastion.
Well, watching that with us was veteran search dog Trio. He's been described as the most decorated living dog. He's now retired from Army service along with his handler, Sergeant Dave Hayhoe. Between them, they've saved countless lives, and Dave has just written a book about their experiences. Hello to both of you. And it's all about Trio, isn't it?
Yes, it is all about Trio. I was just smelling his own copy there.
Yeah, exactly. And the end of that report that we saw basically reflects on the separation when a handler might have to go home from theatre. Yes. And the dog left out. That never happened to you two, did it?
It didn't, no, because Trio had been nominated while we was out there for what we call a Millies. So obviously Trio had to come back, and obviously the bond that we had already with us, and some of our other dogs came back with us as well. It wasn't just Trio. Other dogs came back.
So you stuck together.
Yeah, we stuck together.
Now, you are selected to work together as pairs, aren't you?
Yes,
what was it about you two? What were the characters that matched up?
I think he was a grumbly dog. I was a grumbly old man, and I think they put those two grumbliness together. And the bond that we had, that we achieved together, was evident from the start.
You get the sense that the dogs do enjoy the work, but do they ever realise the danger they're putting themselves in to save other people?
I think they do and they don't. I think what they're getting is the confidence from their handler, from mum or dad.
That's quite a responsibility for you.
Well, of course it is, and we have got to make sure that the bond is inseparable between the dog and handler. And if mum and dad is giving them the confidence to go forward, then they will go forward. So there was plenty of times when Trio will sort of look back in a little bit of fear, but a little quiet, good boy, get on. Then it's okay, and off they go. And that's the sense that the dog gets from the handler.
You have had some very close moments. Namely, one of them was when an IED went off, killing one of the people who were with you. Yes. Was that the most frightening and the worst moment for the pair of you?
It was, because potentially I thought I'd missed something. Although Trio wasn't searching at the time, I thought I'd missed something, so I blamed myself. I didn't blame the dog. I blamed myself for not searching. And potentially we could have found that device, and Justin Cusples would still be here. And
in the book you actually talk about the dog's expression at the time, as though he was also thinking he'd done something wrong. Yeah. How did you pick that up? Or was it you actually transferring your thoughts onto the dog? It was transferring
my thoughts. No, everything that the handlers do with their dogs, everything goes up and down a lead. The love, the affection goes up and down the lead, from the dog to the handler to the dog. And I think he was picking that up from me. And one day he just come out of his kennel, sort of leant up on the side of me, licked the side of my face as if to say, "I'm still here, Dad." And with that and the confidence that the guys, the Royal Highness, was giving me, I then said, OK, we'll go back out, but I wouldn't go back out on patrol because I thought it was my fault. It's
quite interesting, isn't it, really, the effect that a dog out in theatre can have on the people around, not only in sort of giving confidence, like you explained, but also, I mean, this dog was so successful, he became a target for the Taliban.
Yes, he did, but all of our handlers and dogs are targets, no matter what area you're in.
So he wasn't particularly target number one?
Well, no, he wouldn't have been. Within Sangin area, he would have been, but the guys that were working out of Lashkar or Kandahar or wherever else would have been equal targets, because the Taliban didn't want the dog teams out there finding their devices so they could kill us.
You must have been very proud when he got the equivalent of the Victoria Cross, the Dickin Medal. How did he react at the time, the dog?
I think we were both very surprised at it.
He looks very in his element, though.
He is. He's loving. Look at me. Yeah. But Trio and I was put into that limelight because obviously things were happening in Afghanistan, and we wanted to show what our dogs were doing out there. So we were sort of forced into the limelight as such. Yes, he got the Dickens Medal for what we found in Afghanistan, but equally that medal was for every military dog handler that was served and is still serving out there. So yes, Trio was the 63rd animal to receive it, but that medal, along with the millies and everything else, was for every military dog handler that is serving out there.
Well, thank you to both of you for coming in. It's been good talking to you, and thanks. Good luck.
Thank you very much.